This is more than music. This track was born essential.
What up, y'all? Welcome to No Fluff TV, place where it's NC first for all of NC's own. And today is another episode of Conversations with the P.
But it's actually not. Y'all, so this is like the sex therapy takeover. Yes. And these are actually going to be my two lovely guests. You have already introduced yourself.
All right.
And you are?
I am Shamika, aka Noble.
And so this is what's up, y'all. For one, we just want to say shout out to Black therapists. We want to let y'all know that mental health matters, all of that. And I'm so thankful for the support of this platform right now. And I just wanted to pretty much get up here and talk to them. And y'all, I have 2 cancers. We have to honor this moment. Okay. So, y'all know I'm big on astrology. This is an Aries sitting in between 2 cancers, and I have the divine masculine and the divine feminine. This is so great. This is going to be some good stuff from y'all, some good feedback. So, I pretty much wanted to get up here and talk about this really good conversation that we had in class as it relates to, spirituality and sexuality. And I do want y'all to, engage with me. I'm going to ask y'all some questions. So, pretty much what we were learning about in this chapter are some spiritual quadrants. Was a spiritual quadrant, which is pretty much how people connect with each other, emotions, feelings, and all of that. And it began to merge and talk about sexuality, which I thought was great to talk about the power of sacred sex, because we are all spiritual beings on this platform, right? Here today. So, we're just going to see if we can, for one, verify what is going on in this book, because y'all know this is research. I'm in school right now for marriage and family therapy in this sex therapy class. So I was reading this and I'm like, yes, this is me. It was talking about y'all chakras, energy, being in alignment with the person that you are about to engage in sexual intercourse with. So it was really good. So I want to know how comfortable you guys are talking about this topic.
Spirituality and sexuality for me has always been fluid. I share what it depends on if I'm in a safe space right now. So I pretty much would be open.
Okay.
If I feel like I was gonna be judged, and I would just be like, I ain't gonna say that.
No, judgment free zone.
That's right. It's No Fluff TV.
Right. So, what it is what it is. So we just gonna jump right into it. So, definitely want to see how comfortable y'all were with things. Yeah, and feel free to open up as much or as less as possible. Y'all know me. We just gonna what's up? What question you saw popping up?
No, it's something just keep popping in my head.
Let's do it.
Because you said sexuality, so I always be asking people what that means to them or how they identify. Because it's all
good way to start it. Okay.
I be thinking, so it was just on my mind.
Great way to start the conversation. Identifiers.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you identify? You wanna?
It's weird for me. I'm in this weird space right now. Most people would say that I'm bisexual because I date men and women, but it just be weird for me. It'd be I really kind of, some days I'd be nah, I'm a lesbian, but then it'd be nah, I still like men, but it just be like you said, sacred. It has to be a spiritual connection.
For male or for
male.
Both?
For women, it could just be lust and it could just be straight sexual. But for men, it has to be some type of spiritual connection. Okay. So it's just
that is interesting. Well, okay, you are male. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure. My question would be, what qualifies it to be a spiritual connection? You know what I mean? What? You know what I mean? What?
I feel like it's the emotional intelligence, and I feel like it's definitely the energy and the alignment. how I feel and how we connect. So yeah, it's not so much about how you look or like you know what I'm
And
saying?
I wonder if that connects to like how you define your spirituality, which obviously enables you as it relates to how you are able to connect with them sexually. Because like you said, this is as it relates particularly to males.
Yeah.
Your attraction to women are different.
Yeah.
So I want to ask this though. Like, okay, why is there a requirement for men?
I don't know.
It's like, y'all women, y'all just
Because,
you don't
like-
do anything, but the men, we gotta connect.
Yeah, how does women connect different to you with your spirituality than men? I guess is what we're trying to get to, right?
Yeah. I guess I'm just trying to just understand, like, why is it a requirement for men but not for women?
I get what you're saying. I think women, for me, is just I'm able to be more vulnerable and they understand my emotions better. Being a Cancer. Yeah, I go through like a lot of emotions and like in a range, it just go woo. And so like my Mercury, which the way I communicate, is also Cancer. So it's like if you're not emotional and you be like, hey, I ain't trying to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's not gonna resonate with me. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's a man. He doesn't understand. I'm a woman. Nah.
So it's about you need emotional commitment, like you need emotional fulfillment. And women
it has
are
to
more
be a
emotional.
balanced masculine. I need you to understand the feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you operating from masculine 24/7, it's just like, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
That's good. That is.
I mean,
really
but I
good.
can keep going on. Like, I don't want to just keep like, dagging on. But then I'm like, like, all right. Well, how can, not saying that you are assuming, but how could you assume that a woman wouldn't really feel like, I don't want to hear this right now?
So that's a good question. So people ask me that when they be like, have you ever heard when like lesbians or gay girls date women? They be like, so why you gonna date a girl who look like a man? You should just date a man. Or like, why would you date like a stud per se? If that's what they call themselves. And it just be like, no, I don't want to date a woman who thinks she's a man. Like whether she's a tomboy and she dresses, you know what I'm saying, athletic or whatever, urban. No, I need her to be feminine. Like definitely.
Right.
So it's not like. It's not like, oh.
So feminine as in qualities and how she she needs to identify as
if
she,
it's
her.
an alpha female and she's just straight spicy all the time, that's gonna definitely turn me off.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
So it's a
no.
personality, emotional energy thing.
You definitely.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and the chapter did talk about that. So again, because I think we can kind of like, and we like obviously saying like in general, can get into the habit of like, casual sex, like, more unintentional and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, it's really like research shown that, sex is connected to emotions more than we even think about. So that was really good. And I wanted to ask another question, but I'm like, I don't know if that's getting a little bit too deep.
You just said it was a safe space. What you want to ask?
You did say it was a safe space. Yeah, but
I mean, the hot seat.
No, but it's good though.
Okay, well, what's
and
the
remember
question?
the question was, how do you identify yourself? Like, but do you identify as like she, her, right? Obviously.
Like what?
Your pronouns, like what are your?
Yeah, definitely. I identify as a woman.
Yeah, but when I was saying because I'm getting that just how you are even viewing like obviously the male and female difference is somewhat connected to yours. I'm not sure if it's your spirituality or sexual, but then it's like I feel like it's both. That's the topic of the podcast, like because
it's intertwined.
we're showing you how it intertwines. But I was actually about to say like, and you don't have to obviously say it, but like getting back to what were your like first experiences with sexual pleasure and arousal, and it's like what were like, are there any other lesbian women in your family? How do other people identify in your family? Like what were you seeing that it connects to? Like
That's
because it's like
crazy.
It can be like the unspoken thing.
So what's ironic is that my cousin who named me, she was in prison when I was growing up, so I never met her, but she is a lesbian. But I don't know any other like gay people or lesbians or bisexual people that's out in my family. like that. I found out about my cousin. I was grown. I went to her wedding like 3-4 years ago. I was a grown woman, so it wasn't. I didn't see that growing up. She has a child. Like, she dated men, so it's like, no, like, my daddy raised me. You know what I'm saying? I had 2 moms basically. I had a stepmom and then my biological mom. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was good. What do you think?
I thought that was good as well.
Okay, I was kind of like, okay.
That's good. What else we gonna do?
So how do you identify?
Like, what are your proper pronouns?
I don't know. I'm not into all that. I don't
know what you mean. You a
I'm
man?
Straight.
You he?
Is that heterosexual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and no, so another reason why I ask is because also what I'm learning in like just my sex therapy class in general is about like, honestly, y'all, I realize that sex therapy is not just about my super what I think is great, you know, sex life or whatever it is. I'm learning that sex is like all around. Like, I'm hearing about, you know, sex issues, sex, you know, like disorders and everything that I didn't even know existed. And obviously because like I'm in this box because like, you know, you only have what you know. Right. Like, you know, and then like, you know, just it's so much, y'all. And then the reason why I ask about pronouns because I also realize that's the thing. You can assume that one person is going by something because society says this is like, you know, female or like, you know, male, whatever. But you don't really know how people are identifying themselves as it relates to how they feel and internalize things. But yeah, I am definitely she, her pronoun as well. Okay. You know, I am she, I am her. And, but I mean, like, granted, I know, y'all, and we talk and stuff, but I am really learning a lot. Like, you would be surprised. You really never know. And, people honestly struggle a lot with putting themselves in those categories. Like, you know, just having those different pronouns. Some people rather, like, you know, the they, them, to not be put in like either or. You know, some people are non-binary and stuff. So it's like, yeah, it's a lot. But one thing I can say, the more research and stuff I do and the more ties I connect and also like, you know, try to implement some of my own personal experiences, I think it has everything to do with how we are raised, like, you know, because for them to even like, you know, come up and internalize things, that must be some type of like, you know, spirituality or some, obviously it's a sexuality thing, and I'm just saying it definitely does merge. And I think everybody's experiences are, you know, honestly different, but yeah, the book even gave like certain scenarios as it relates to like, you know, different examples of people, and it's like, you know, older, younger, like you don't really have to consider yourself spiritual or religious. This is like, you know, research. This is like, you know, given fact science that connections are like, you know, emotional. This is why, you know, people like, you know, we can't just sleep around, be friends with benefits. You got to get in your feelings. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, we didn't talk about that on a few. Right. So it's like, that's a real thing. People wonder why these things can't happen. But, like, you know, it's just deeper than the surface. So, yeah, we're going to get on you. Yeah. Okay? Is that okay?
You in the hot seat.
Okay.
Let's go.
You want to go first? What you got?
No, you go first.
I was going to start small. All I was going to say is, like, you being a man, I don't want to be biased. Like, you know, with my strong female privilege and my, you know, sex therapy knowledge. Right. So, you know, feel free to break me down. Okay. No, but seriously, I just want to know, as a male, how do you define sacred sex? Like, do you even think that's a thing?
Yeah, I do. Like, you know, I guess for me, so I guess on the spirituality part of it, it's more of like I have my beliefs are more like what people would consider like Christian, right? Okay. Even though I don't call it Christian, but it's what they would identify it as, right? Okay,
more traditional.
Yeah, it's not traditional.
Okay, well, help me understand.
I was about to say, so how did you identify it as Christian and then say it's not Christian?
What I'm saying, that's what.
Right, because when I think Christian, I think traditional. So help me understand.
When I say non-traditional, I mean that I believe in Christ, but I don't believe him as the white Jesus.
Oh, okay, got it. You know okay.
I don't believe it.
Right, that is traditional image, guys.
Introduced to us by slave masters. I think beyond that.
Okay.
You know what
I'm going to have to check in with you on another note because that's interesting to know.
So my views, a lot of the views that have been pushed through the church, through Christianity, and slavery, and all of those things that people have taken out of the Bible, I don't think they're all the way accurate, and some of it's just hearsay. It's like, oh, you shouldn't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. And they don't have a basis.
Okay,
So,
how do you come up with your basis? That's so cool.
Reading. And,
Okay.
Because I don't want this, what I'm saying, we can get spin off into something. I want to spin off into something else. But basically, sometimes we get our beliefs from tradition that's passed down instead of investigating it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for an example, someone will say, well, why does no one in the Bible look like us? And if you looked in the Bible, you will see us everywhere. That type of thing. So that's what I mean. So going back to your question as far as it being sacred. Yes, it is. I
just want you to know this is all tied in, though. Little do you know, like, it's all really. I know you think that was a little rabbit trail, but it's still connected to how you think, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's still relevant.
Yeah, definitely. But yes, I believe it's sacred. Like scripture talk about, when you lay with a woman, you're married to them. Like, there's a purpose for them saying that, because now, you're joining spirits. You're like, they're called soul ties and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you lay with a person, like, that transfer happens, whether we want to admit it or not. You know what I mean? So, like, I'll say even for me, like, years ago, when I was bouncing around. When I was bouncing around.
It's the hand movement for me.
When I was bouncing around.
No, that's a fact. We all had that phase, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, some of us. No. Some of us didn't.
Look, what you had? Y'all.
A lot of guys.
I appreciate the balance here.
I can't speak for the women, but I say the guys that I know, and even myself, we bounced around quite a bit. And you see the effects of that in their life now. You know what I mean? You might not could tell back then, but sometimes when you look back in hindsight, it's really 2020. So you get to see things like better. But
what year is it? What
it's
year?
2021. I'm just saying, when you look back in hindsight, everything is 2020. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you get to see things like, oh man, there was a reason why this was going on or whatever. It's because you've been tying yourself up with all these different people, different
energies. So look, and I was so psyched when I seen the book talk about chakras, because I got my little chakra bracelet too on, y'all. But like the different energies in your body, and like how they can get thrown off from sexual experiences. However, I know we can tend to like focus on the negative, and I also realize like, sexuality is like really sacred to where it can be like uplifting and like, motivational to where like, it's super just like, powerful and amazing, and like, chakras are online, it's good, it's great, it's popping, like everybody needs one of those. You feel me? I'm just saying. But
manifesting.
Right. But yeah, like really just tying in with like, different energies and souls and spirits and stuff like that. Right. So I'm glad you mentioned soul ties. Do you believe in soul ties?
Yes. Oh my God.
What do you think about soul ties?
Glad I don't have any right now.
For the people watching, how do you cleanse yourself from soul ties? Because like, people do, I guess it's weird because not everybody labels themselves as spiritual, but I think some people kind of like, oh my goodness, like I feel this way and I think it's from this connection, but I don't really know how to get away from it. It's like, that's the soul tie.
Whether they define it as spiritual or not, interpretation is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Right. So what are soul ties and how do you get rid of them? Maybe that's like a next topic.
How you get rid of? Go ahead,
Noble.
Go ahead,
Noble. Drop that knowledge on us.
Self-love, a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best answer. That's the best answer to have.
Right. Because you understand that it's unhealthy. That's the first thing, like the acknowledgement that it's unhealthy. Then you choose that you want better. So that's why I said self-love.
Yes, you have to want better.
And so I am spiritual. So like I take a spiritual bath. Like I meditate. Like I journal. And then I might pull my cards out. I do tarot. So I might need to see what the cards say to see, get in there And I might backslide, you know, in between the two. Because it's a journey. It's not it's like it's sometimes it's rinse and repeat.
And that's okay.
Right.
Like sometimes it be hard, especially if you've been dealing with it for a long time. Because it's like, I know this is not what I want. This is not aligned with me and my destiny. And so, if you're not an asset, you're a liability. So, you gotta go.
Yeah, and that goes to the next question. What has your like sacred sex journey looked like thus far?
Sacred sex journey. I don't know if I have a sacred sex journey.
Okay, well, let me say this. You did technically just say, like, you know, back in the day, you bounced around.
Right.
Whereas now, like, you know, you older, you pretty much, like, you know, understand that it's connecting energies, anything. Do you feel like that could be, I guess, like a sexual journey? Whether you define it as sacred or not. Because everybody's sex ain't sacred. Let's make that clear. Maybe you just ain't a sacred person.
It wasn't sacred.
It wasn't sacred.
It wasn't sacred at that point. Like, you know, during those times, it was just like, you know, we're just chasing, it's the lust. You know what I mean? And you know, when your lust guides you, it puts you in a place where, like, I've caught something before, like, you know, it wasn't anything like I couldn't get rid of, but I'm just saying.
Antibiotics work. Thank you very much.
You know what I mean? Like,
now, while I seen this post, I got to talk. I see you from the same toxic page. Like, you keep trying to make me jealous. Like, so you done screw all these people and now you taking antibiotics.
No, it's just, that's what happened, bro. Like, I'm like, yeah, it was weird because, like, you know, during that time I was staying with my homeboy, and I was like, yo, my dick itching, yo. It's like, what is that?
Tough.
And
yeah,
so, like,
what is that?
It's crazy. I'm like, and so we went to the clinic or whatever, and it was like, oh, chlamydia. I'm like, dang. So now I have to call people that I'm sleeping with, like, yo.
What did that do for you on the emotional level?
So, yeah, now, so when I had to do that, it just kind of I felt guilt because now I'm putting other people's lives in danger. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I'm fulfilling my own lust. And, you know, then I was thinking, like, you know, I'm doing you a favor type thing. You know what I mean? But, and what happened is, like,
doing a favor?
Yeah.
What?
The male privilege.
For real. That's a cancer male. That's why I be telling people I'm a cuss baby. Lord.
No, but
stop doing you a favor for real.
No, seriously.
I mean, I felt that way.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I think it was. I think it
Testimonies.
really was a situation because, you know, it could have been on the other foot for me. You know what I mean? Like, somebody could have been doing me a favor. But I'm just saying that when I had to make those phone calls, I'm like, you know, just kind of put things like, hey, you need to chill out. Like, you know, as much as I would like to say, well, I'm careful about who I sleep with or whatever, even in my, you know, trying to be more thoughtful about it, I was still being careless. You know what I mean? Because, you know, eventually the condom will come off. And now I'm just, you know, rawing everything out here. And so...
Oh, so it's like, try to do it, but...
Yeah, because, you know, like...
yeah, I guess
like,
I do take away from
like,
it.
what happens is, you know, like...
Ooh,
I would say for that time, it was one specific girl that she was like, all right, I know we ain't together. Just don't use no condom with me. And I'm like, all right, yeah, cool.
See, the camera gets everything. Y'all see my face is kind of like...
Yeah.
Sis, if you watching this, just...
Yeah, you ain't watching it. No, she ain't watching it.
Just sis. We sending you love and light, sis. We sending you love and light.
You know what I mean?
Ooh,
so,
child.
I was like, yeah, I got you. You know what I mean? I got you.
You bold. Shout out to
she
y'all.
ain't like condoms. That's why she probably was the one, because she don't like them with nobody.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the living on the edge for me. That ain't even living on the edge. I don't know what that is. That she is tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. That is some bold stuff to do.
Yeah. So,
I don't even understand things like that.
She must be an Aries, but go ahead.
You too much for me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
don't you that. You will not be about to verify that. Go ahead.
Wait 1 second. Is she a fire sign?
Got to be. When her birthday?
Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Good.
She an air sign.
That confirms that I'm on the safe side. But
And
go
she
ahead.
was Scorpio.
Oh man, she don't want to sign like
Hold it down.
I've been saying I'm looking for a future.
But childhoods make a difference.
No, yeah, with Scorpios.
So,
yeah.
so
They fixed energy. They like to do what they like to do, so that makes all the way.
And she was like older than me, so like she was she wanted to settle down type thing.
It was the older energy for
All
her.
right, go ahead. Look, I want to know what it's about.
But anyway, so like when I had to make those phone calls, it just like I said, put things in perspective, and I just felt the guilt from putting their lives in jeopardy like that. So that kind of slowed me down a little bit.
A little bit.
A little. I mean, yeah, because I don't get me
I heard
wrong.
that
I
little
wasn't
bit,
really
y'all. That
wild,
was like,
but I was.
But you want to know, and that's another thing we could leave for, and that'll be another topic. Like, just as far as people think like you have to be super out there to catch an STD or something like that, and it be like, no, some people are like,
They get it from
hate to
their
say
husband.
it, one and done. Like like some people don't even get the opportunity to explore, so.
Right.
But that's for another thing. That's why I just always encourage people to be educated. You know what I'm saying? Just protect yourself, protect your energy. Like when I say that, and I'm something personal that I do. I even like sage, like my womb and stuff, like because it's like I don't want nothing unworthy to get in here. Sometimes, I may go on a little rabbit trail or something and don't be caring.
Right.
That's not good.
Right.
So for the most part, we like to keep it holy and sacred around these parts. You feel me? So I think that's something that I had to learn along my journey because it has not always been a sacred journey. And the thing is, like, you don't really know.
What about your sacred sexual journey?
High five.
Boo! Can we get like some thumbs down emojis on that part? No, but so yeah, for me, I think I had to learn, like you were saying, like self-worth. That's definitely a thing. Stuff that was passed down, you don't really know. I had to learn like sex being sacred as I got older. I don't think it was ever taught to me like the emotions that come with sex. It was always kind of like, STDs and babies. And it was kind of like, yeah, definitely, like I get it, but it's also like, these emotions, like, then just like the energy, like, and then just not really being educated to know that's a thing. So not even knowing that that's something to look for, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
But nobody talked to you at all?
No, I was talked to, but it was kind of like not about like
abstinence, more so of experience.
Yeah, and I always talk about like how I would talk to my kids about it because I think it was more of a like, for one, grown people do it. However you define grown, who the hell are even grown ups? You feel what I'm saying? But that's another thing, because definitely it's teenage people. It was teenage pregnancy, so like, how were y'all defining grown?
My mom was 13.
Wow.
All of us. Well, not us. I broke the cycle.
Right.
Me too.
Yes,
girl,
we broke
breakers,
the cycle.
okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was a more like not we talked about it, but it was again like it's all about how you've been talked about. It wasn't really emotions. I think it was really honestly like sheltered. I would probably tell my kids like, it's soul ties. Like, you need to know what this person's energy is. Like, are you sad because you sleeping with this person? Are they sad? Like what's going, like, are you really sad or is this, this person's energy? Because I know that's a real thing just based on like, my own personal experience. And obviously I know to keep it sacred now because sacred didn't even exist. Like what was that?
I think what happens is, like you said, just us being uneducated. But that's also because the people that was even mentioning sex or staying away from sex, telling us to stay away from it, didn't know how to articulate it.
But then,
something that
they
will tell you don't have sex, but they don't give you. They only knew to go to, well, you don't want no STD or you don't want a baby.
But the thing is, do that mean they were uneducated? Because I even just now I feel like I got to check myself because I know that I feel like we all like, kind of know that generational things are for real. So it's like.
When I say uneducated, I mean they were
unaware.
they were unable to tell you everything that may come with sex from their own experiences.
Yeah, and I think for some,
And I think they
it
knew.
was like
I think it was
fear.
fear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because
it.
it's like
Who wants to tell their daughter their heart can get broken? Or son
Right.
too, like because it happens
One
to
thing
boys
I will
as
say
well.
about having teenage parents and young parents, it was like growing up with like older brother and sister sometimes.
Right.
But no, like I was very I stayed on punishment and stuff. Like no, I was disciplined. Definitely disciplined. But no, like my dad kept it so real with me, and like my mom and my stepmom kept it so real with me. It was like I'd be the person at school telling somebody like, nah, girl, don't sleep with him. Like, he not worth it. Like, he make F's. Like, for real. And they
See,
be
that's
like,
the thing. My mom
You got
would
60 on the
tell
tip.
us,
Like,
don't
why
sleep
y'all-
with them.
why
So
y'all
it was like,
sleep
sleep with nobody. Like, I'm the girl with the standards that's too high. And it's like, okay, like, somebody got to be slept with. It was always like, again,
There's
like,
somebody
it was always a
that
don't
way.
do this or don't do that. So it was kind of like, what, I didn't understand what is it that I got to do. But, I just explored based off of what I knew, what I thought to be right. And I mean, I had good experiences. I mean, like, it was always the emotions part for me. Like, why did I not learn about chakras earlier in the game? Okay. Yeah. But that was definitely I do have an experience. Y'all know I did true love waits. I was supposed to wait until marriage to, ever have sex. I did that twice.
No, I never knew that.
And probably because it's a traumatic
how
story,
is it, like,
girl.
true love waits? Is it like, what you mean? Like, is it some type of club or something? Like, why you label it like that?
Girl,
I
it
heard
was
of it.
No, because, like,
Club
I've heard of,
Jesus, girl. No,
yeah,
it was
no,
true
that's what I
love.
heard. Because, like, Jessica Simpson had, like, the promise ring. She wouldn't have sex until she got married.
For
and
real,
stuff like that.
yeah. I didn't know that was pop. Yeah, girl. I was like, how old was I? Maybe like 15, 16. I don't know, y'all. But yeah, my mom actually told us, me and my sister, that we were getting these true love waits ring, and that we had to, not have sex until marriage, and it was the only way. And mind you, at that point, sex was not even a thing. So that's it was like. So I felt like that was one of the things that was kind of like, oh, okay, like and honestly at that point it was like, yeah, like this is the thing to do. Like I'm okay with it, but not realizing that it was so forced that I wasn't even able to really explore it. You get what I'm saying? Right.
I think there's benefits in it personally, but.
But I mean, you said you was 15, so that makes sense why you would have that. So she didn't come back and have another conversation with you before you went off to college?
The thing is, the conversations was always kind of like, we can talk about it whenever you're ready, whenever you're having it, but it was always kind of like the vibe that you give. And it was kind of like, I just knew I ain't want to do it. But the true love waits was beneficial. But again, I think it was just the fact that, for one, I wasn't even thinking about stuff like that at the time. Like my sister was a little bit older, but the thing is, y'all, I went and did it a second time because I felt bad. This is real true story.
Okay.
I lost my virginity at 16 years old.
Okay.
One time, and I guess I felt so guilty and so condemned, y'all, like sitting in the church and stuff like that. I didn't have sex again until like at least 2.5 years later. And that's when I started to have a more active sex life. So I think that really traumatized me. Like, then I went to get it the second time because I'm like, this is not right. Like, I need to do it God's way and stuff like that. Mind you, my thing is, it's just not being educated about both. You get what I'm saying? Because either way, emotions was going to come with it. You get what I'm saying? So it could have been okay if it was a more here or the way. It was like, ain't no other way type thing.
Right.
I still got my ring. No, I thought about wearing it, but it was just like, girl, give it up.
The bond. No.
The bond was broken because I never signed up to get it. You get what I'm saying? I was forced. We was forced to do that ceremony.
The
I tell
second
mom that all
time
the
you
time.
won't, though.
The second time was real because that was a more me thing. I think that was more like the ring was broke anyway, but
I think it was more so you felt guilty, but that weren't your true emotions. It had been brought on to you.
yeah. So it was like, yeah. But it was good though. I just it's the education for me because I was never out there. That's one thing about I ain't never really really, maybe I was scared to have sex. But no, it was my mom. It was nothing was ever good enough. It was always like, no, because if you got to do this and you got to, definitely ain't no broke joke. So, it was always like, girl, if ain't nobody doing nothing for you, then you really don't need to have your legs open.
No, seriously, that might be one thing. Like, my dad told me, like, do not lay down with a man who cannot take care of the child y'all possibly just made. And when I say that, ring bells in me. And so people, like, could say, like, oh, you a gold digger, or you want the finished package. Like, I've known girls want the finished package. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to struggle with you. Like, I'm not trying. Right. Like, you struggle and I struggle, and then we come together and we build once we get where we need to go. But I don't want to struggle with you. Yeah. Like, no, I don't. Like, it's too many sacrifices and consequences in the process of that. So, no, I will not be doing that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, so I think that really... And
then bloodline is another thing. Like, sex should be sacred if you do not want to have a child with that person. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you heard that from your dad, and, like, I mean... For guys, not saying that I heard this young, but like, you would hear someone say, don't sleep with a woman if you want to have a child with her. Because if you feel this way about her already, and y'all just like together or whatever, y'all just got whatever y'all got going on, then how would you feel if you were tied to her for 18 years, basically?
And it's more than 18.
I feel like then people try to justify, because then it goes from protected sex to unprotected sex. Oh, yeah, so don't have unprotected sex with people you don't want to have kids. You see how people, the generations is changing, y'all. Because y'all know I'm not that old, but I be feeling like people put some tweaks on stuff.
For me, my daddy was just on some across the board.
Yeah, sex make babies, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I know for sure. You was here.
That type of sex
15.
anyway.
Like, I know for sure. So.
Yeah.
So what do y'all know about sex rituals? Well, some sex is the ritual, but have you ever heard about sex magic? Right.
Yeah.
I've heard about sex magic. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie. I did do sex magic with my ex. I won't lie.
Okay,
but it wasn't a lot.
What is? Help me out. What is sex magic?
It's more of like, if you do rituals, it's more of like
tantric. Like the Indian thing. What is it, Kama Sutra or something like that?
You into stuff like that?
No, I'm just asking.
What is that?
Because it is like a whole ritual thing.
Like poses and
where you're breathing into each other.
Yeah. All that. Candles.
Chakras and all this.
Affirmations.
Right.
Like really saying, like really manifesting. Like, like when you orgasm, you should be manifesting at all times.
Like, every orgasm.
Everyone. And when I learned that, and I said, oh, let's try to do this. What the blessings be coming, the manifestations be coming, I'd be like, oh, we're going to keep doing this. Okay, let's keep doing it. But you got to be sure you know what you want, though.
Right.
That's the hard part, believe it or not.
Because energy changes, like, and depending on what time it is, it's like, I wanted that yesterday, but I don't want that today. But now I didn't, we done did a whole everything, like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't affirm this. We didn't, you know what I'm saying?
It's said and done.
It's said and done.
So, like, all right, what does that look like? Like, go into more detail for all of the listeners out there, right? So, what is, how does
that look like?
You know what I mean? Like, how does this come together? Like,
I feel like it's no, like, right or wrong way to do it. And I think everybody does it differently. So it's more of a personal preference, just like a spiritual bath. Okay. Like what herbs you're going to use and candles and incense and all of that. It just depends on the person.
Right.
So,
So are you really kind of ducking the question? I think she's
this that no Fluff TV shit. This is exactly what that is.
A little bit right here.
I knew it.
What
was the question?
Yeah,
like how does it look like?
What does it look like for you? That's more specific.
So for me, I do candle rituals.
That's a therapy question.
So for me, I do candle rituals.
Okay.
So depending on the color of the candle, it has different meanings and connotations.
Okay.
So it definitely I have like a singing bowl. So
what's that?
A singing bowl?
Yeah.
So it's like made out of
some type of metal.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know how to
like,
pronounce it. It
with a
starts
little
with a
thing
T.
to
I
make
don't
a sound.
want to. Yes, definitely.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. I'm picking up what you put
Yeah.
down.
Yes, you about to. Who you about to do?
So people call that-
He taking notes.
Yeah, some
though.
people
No,
call that
listen.
sound therapy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, you definitely want to be clean. Like, I don't know how people be having sex without taking a shower first. So,
Right.
of course, that's the first thing you need to do.
Right.
Ooh.
Enemas, all that. Make sure you
Pet
do that.
peeve, child.
Okay, make sure you clean.
I don't care if you just.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to see you take a shower. I don't
Right.
care if you just came from your house and you took a bath. Okay, I got a shower.
You know what I'm saying? You're very intentional with your words. You just don't be saying anything. Right. Like, you're definitely not saying no self-sabotaging things when you having sex magic. Don't be,
Right.
I don't feel love. No. This is not the time for that. Don't
Definitely
start
ain't got time. Unless that's what you want now. Unless you don't want to feel love. But I doubt anybody wants that.
No, don't say that. We don't have. So, very intentional with your words and your thoughts and your breathing. You definitely want to meditate together first.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want any other energy. So, like, I'll sage. Some people don't sage. But I do, of course. So it's a mix of things. And I think it depends on the partner. Because I'm pretty sure if I was to have sex magic with someone else, it wouldn't be the same.
Right. It just depends on, the vibe.
The energy.
The
energy, the emotion to the person.
Yeah, and then for me, I feel like it's an agreement. Like, when you're doing sex magic, it's like we are manifesting something. We are in agreement of something. We are aligned together for something. So, whatever that something is, both of you need to feel the same about it. Gotcha. It doesn't need one person imposing their will on the other. Like, nah, we need to be in agreement.
Succeed like that. That's manipulation.
Definitely, yeah. Ain't no magic in that.
We don't operate like that. That's not of light.
Okay.
So, when you gonna have your first sex magic session? There's no Fluff TV, so don't cap for the people. We know you interested. If you wouldn't to ask these questions.
No, I mean,
it's dope though. It's about intentions.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, but
some people do it when they want to
you
have
do it
babies.
without doing it though.
Like when they really want to get, like when you literally intentionally are having sex solely to procreate. That's sex magic. That is a ritual.
Right.
Like you know what I'm saying? While you performing that act, you are really trying to conceive.
Right.
Some people, they try to conceive, babies. Me, I be trying to conceive $1 billion. So, it'd be different type of babies, $1 billion babies.
Yeah, well, I think I'd be having this sometimes. I mean, not all the time. Sometimes the rabbit just would not come out the hat.
How do you know the difference between when your sex is sacred and when it's not? Like you said, you don't even be having them all the time. So how do you know when you having the sex magic and the not?
I think, I don't know, if I had to guess,
ain't no I had to guess. That mean your ass
if I had to guess, if I had to guess, the quickie.
Y'all know that's
something real quick, that's different. It's kind of like.
Is it because it's less intentional, like when you think about it? See? You see how everything is tied in?
I think it is an intention.
Obviously.
I gotta get a nut.
But that's the only intention though. Okay, because hear me about this, because also something I'm learning is kind of like even like the arousal scale. Like some people, I guess the research is kind of saying like some people can ultimately hinder their sex life because some people feel like the orgasm is the only thing. You get what I'm saying? Like that's the end all be all. But it's like people not paying attention to again their emotions. Like but I'm emotional fulfilled. Like this guy is doing everything to my body and all this, but it's like you're so focused on the orgasm that takes away from the whole experience. That's also a thing too.
Oh yeah, I definitely believe that.
But for me, I think so. Your question to him was, when do you know you having sex magic, or when do you know you have, or is
like regular sex versus sacred sex? Because
I'm about to say all sex to me is sacred.
Okay.
So like even if it's just like some fling or like an intentional, like yes, I definitely got you on my list. My Capricorn. I definitely got to, like, it's an intention with it. It might not be like, oh, let's be in love. Let's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's build a family. But it's just like, nah, we could build something else. You know what I'm saying? I don't know necessarily. We know who it is.
We could build something else.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. Shoot.
Yeah.
We can build a connection, a network, a business, a collaboration. You know me, like anything.
And that's a good point.
A friendship. I mean... But yeah, it's definitely always intentional. Personally, for me.
Yeah. So when is your sex magic? When You know?
Yes.
What's the question?
Yeah, on this right here, the sex magic. Like, when are you having that?
When am I having it?
Like, are you scheduling it out?
Oh, no.
Okay, so
the
what
goal
does it
is
look
to
like?
not have to schedule it.
Okay.
That means it's not consistent enough if it's like
I thought,
that.
I thought maybe it was like, an intentional thing, but
I do
definitely.
But I can be intentional with myself.
okay.
Let's
Self-love.
But let's be clear. Right.
Self-love.
No, but like Shamika was saying, so like literally for me now, all my sex is sacred. So,
right.
But it took me a while to get there. Like I didn't know what sacred sex was. I didn't know, like, I was giving my body away, and like, spirits was intertwined and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what does it look like for you though? Like, I asked her, like, what does it look like for her? She was talking about lighting the candles and all of that. Like, what does it look like for you?
Yeah, like about the same.
Okay.
Meditation. Music was probably quiet. I was probably meditating a good few minutes before.
Trey songs in the background. Okay. No. Okay.
No, hell no.
Okay.
No. Shout out to Trey though. We ain't even gonna act.
I feel like that's
your boy ain't
it's
cut
too
up.
dark to be him, or I don't want it because it's too dark.
Well, the way
I
he's
have no idea what they're
verifying
talking
in
about.
these comments and stuff, acting like he ain't denying it. That's all I'm saying. He playing along on Twitter. And I don't think he would be corny enough to do that.
You ain't
because
never
that's a whole nother man penis. That's corny as hell if he doing it.
You ain't never known for him to be corny.
Not like that. That's a whole nother. That's throw the whole human being away.
Because
corny.
he always gave me queen vibes.
Yeah.
Who?
Queen vibes.
Well, not really queen. I can
Trey
see
Songz?
kind of switch for him,
Really?
but
For real, like ever since I was younger, I remember my cousin.
and you got the
yeah.
vibes.
I just be
So,
like, hey.
If you see it for him, then you see it for him. Girl, I wish you had my we ain't even gonna go there. I wish you had my radar.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. So what advice would you give to people who are wanting to explore the topic of sexuality and spirituality? The power of sacred sex.
My advice would be, get your own, get your definitions, what you see it as, view it as, and then I think once you have all that defined or whatever, or you're on your journey, then have someone like-minded, to I guess connect with, take the journey with, or whatever.
Absolutely.
That would be my advice. Because I think what makes the sex magic, right, is like you said, those two people being on like the same level, same vibe, same, whatever, you got to be connected and, lined up for it to really work.
I agree.
Yeah.
What would be your advice to people wanting to explore this topic?
For one, I would tell them I really feel like your chakras need to be aligned. For the second part, I'm going to say, because it's trust your discernment. But your discernment is real tricky when, you know what I'm saying, you're not aligned.
Garbage if you ain't in a line. I hate to say it. And I'm talking to myself. Because sometimes ain't no discernment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that discernment could come off as ego or insecurity when you're not aligned. So, it's like, trust your intuition, for one. Like, trust your intuition. Mm-hmm. And, experience, because you can go off of advice and what people tell you, but at the end of the day you gotta experience it.
Gotta jump off that porch. Take it from a fireside. Only way to find out about the sacred sex is to do it. So ain't no other way. That's my advice. Explore. You got to do it.
Okay.
Got to do it.
Got to do it.
Tell the people what you was
you
gonna
say.
I was about to say define what you mean jump off the porch, because the viewers may not know what that slang term
is definitely an urban term.
Yeah. So explain that. What is jump off the porch?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Word.
Sacred
so
sex
thank
is the
y'all.
move. Sacred sex only. We need to do like a hashtag sacred sex only because for real. We are worthy, noble. We don't need to be out here engaging and intertwined with shit that does not uplift us. And sex is such a daily based thing. Let's just please be more intentional.
Vampires.
No, don't let your energy be drained from sexual desires and lust and all that stuff that's just not gonna lift you up. Be in the line, be in tune, be intentional, and have good sex. For the sake of God, have wonderful sex, people. Wonderful.
Please.
Have it as often as you can.
All right. Thank you all for watching No Fluff TV. I want to thank myself for being a guest on her podcast. I want to thank Noble for coming on No Fluff TV for the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last. Y'all subscribe to... am I supposed to plug in your stuff? Well, okay, if you want to have some sex magic, go to Shape by You Lingerie. And cop, okay?
Very intentional.
Right?
Yeah. But you can put everybody's stuff. This is black owned platform.
Oh, yeah.
Black owned handbags.
Yeah, get them
put
handbags.
lingerie in your hand. I can put the lingerie in the handbag, okay? No pain.
Buy her,
for the hoes on the
bag
go.
from Noble.
And I do mean that respectfully.
Right. Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Thank y'all for watching. We out.
Thanks.